Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. So today in this video I am going to give you few tips such that you can attempt the TIFR JGEEBILS exam with least negative marking and you can score at least 40 marks, which will be I think enough for selection in TIFR Mumbai. Now the selection in the TIFR Mumbai is based entirely on your score in the JGEEBILS exam, and if you are scoring more than 40 marks, you are among the top 100 or 150 students, you will get interview call from TIFR Mumbai. There will be 2 rounds of interviews, as I have already mentioned in my previous videos, and you can watch my interview experiences. I have made separate videos for that. Now in TIFR JGEEBILS exam there are 4 major sections: physics, chemistry, biology and general aptitude. And in the general aptitude section there will be few mathematical questions and other few questions which are based entirely on general knowledge and which are not that much tough and you can easily solve them. Now the general aptitude section and the biology section are the most scoring sections, and you have to try to attempt maximum questions from these 2 sections. Now chemistry section and physics section is also doable, but certain questions are not very easy and you have to think a little bit. You have to have a good grip on the chapters such that you can answer the questions. But the thing is, in the JGEEBILS section the cutoff is very low, like out of 80, if you are scoring around 35 plus, you can still get qualified. So you have to focus on these 2 sections to score the maximum marks, and in the physics and chemistry section only attempt the questions you are more or less sure. Like if you are confused between only 2 options or you are inclined towards a particular option, you can mark them. Otherwise, if you don't know at all the questions, I would suggest skip that question. Otherwise the negative marking is huge. And the next point is about negative marking. Now in each section there are 15 questions, and out of that 15 questions the first 10 questions has 1 marks each and the last 5 questions carries 2 marks. But the negative marking is interesting because for both the 1 marks as well as 2 marks question there will be 0.5 marks negative marking. Therefore, if you have to take a chance, you are making a guess, try to do that, try to play with the 2 marks question, because if it is negative, if it is wrong, your negative will be same as the like 1 marks question, but if it is correct you will be getting 2 marks. Therefore the point is, if you have to make a guess, try to make a guess with the 2 marks question, but only answer the 1 marks question which you are almost sure about. That might be you are not 100% sure, but still there is a high chance in your mind that almost 90% chance that this particular option might be correct. Only mark those questions. Now this is the important things. And the next point is about the subjective questions. You know that from the last year 2025 TIFR has introduced a section for subjective questions which you have to answer, which are mandatory. Now there will be 3 questions there will be 3 questions which you have to answer, and these questions are not informative. You can easily think and write in that moment. Now your typing speed will matter because I think the word limit is around 200 words for each of the questions. So you will not get any marks for that questions, but you have to answer those questions, because once you qualify the exam, these questions will be verified. How you answered will be like investigated by the respected faculty members, and they will ask those questions why you have answered in that particular way during your interviews. Therefore this section is important, but your major focus should be the MCQ questions, because first you have to qualify the exam. If you don't qualify the exam, your subjective questions will not matter. There is no value. And one of my friends has not attempted any of the subjective questions, but still he qualified the exam. And even if you qualify the exam, you will get interview call from several ISRs, several institute like Bose Institute, NIBMG, several institutes are there. But maybe if your subjective question is not that much well, you will not interview call from TIFR Institute, mainly TIFR Mumbai. So subjective question is important, but give the majority of the time to the MCQ questions. I think the paper is of 3 hours, and apart from that give at least 2 hours and 10 to 15 minutes to the MCQ based questions. Try to solve the maximum questions you can, because when you move to the subjective questions, there is no way to return back to the MCQ based questions, because when you are sure that you will not be able to solve any other MCQ based questions, then only you move to the next section. Now this is one point. Now typing speed is important, but not that much. If you are getting around 40 to 40 minutes, I think you will be able to answer 3 questions. Don't give any kind of complicated answer, just write the basic understanding you have about the topic. What is your opinion about that? I also wrote very easy answers, not like I have not used any kind of technical terms, but as I have qualified, I can assure you that you don't need to add any sophisticated technical thinking in that questions, and that will not be that much tough. Now this is the maximum thing, and only around 15 to 20 days are left for the exam, and in this period I will suggest you to focus mainly on the previous year questions which are asked in the exam, because that are very much important. And whenever I can remember, when I was preparing for the exam, TIFR was the first exam which I appeared for, and when only 10 days were left, or 10 to 15 days were left, I focused only on previous year questions practice. In TIFR, in IFA's IIT JAM Biotechnology YouTube channel, I think there are several videos of Mamta ma'am and other teachers of biology section solving of TIFR. If you are unable to solve by yourself the section of biology, you can look at those videos, which will be helpful, I think. Now apart from that, I want to add one thing. During the exam, it is quite natural that you will be unable to solve maximum questions of physics and chemistry. If you are exceptional student, this is not for you. You will be able to solve many questions, I think, but for many students, they will face difficulty in solving question of physics and chemistry. Now don't be panic at that moment, because maximum questions, I would say 90%, 95% of the students will face the same issue, because they will not ask you any direct formula based questions. The questions are mainly based on understanding. If you have proper grip on the chapter, only then you will be able to answer those questions. So try to maximize your score in biology and general aptitude section, and if you are able to answer 1 or 2 or 3 questions in physics or chemistry, that will be enough, I can assure you. So don't be panic about how much you are scoring. Try to minimize your negative marking, but if you are thinking about minimizing negative marking and attempting too much less questions such that you are not scoring even 25 marks, that is a different scenario, and that will also like give you much trouble. But try to, like, if you are scoring around 35 to 40 marks, I think that will be sufficient to qualify the exam. So don't think much, try to look at the previous year questions at this final moment, and all the best for your preparation. If you have any particular questions about this exam or anything, you can ask me in the comment section. I will try to answer as soon as possible, and thank you very much for your presence. Thank you.